kind of easy to do. About the 10th time, when you put about 10 or 12 of these pistons in, it gets kind of easy. The first one, well, that first one it's not pleasurable, I can tell you that. The first one, most of the time, it's something will go wrong on the first one. Yeah. Now we got a piston in there now. Y'all see that? Got that piston come up there? And that's his spur. I'll show you something. When the piston comes all the way to the front, okay, right there that's top dead center. And the piston, according to where you measure from, but that's like a 1 5/8 from here back to there is how much distance you have in there, taking in consideration that the flange on the head sticks back about what is it, about a 1/4 of an inch or so with the gasket and everything, so it goes back about right there. So you know you've got a combustion chamber, and that's one of the reasons that you can get away with a little bit of not a loose piston, but a little bit more cylinder wear. You can kind of get rid of that a little bit with these are low compression engines, and that's one of the advantages of running a regular grade fuel is with the low compression. It's a little bit easier on the blow by. You can read about it in the textbook. Now we got that rod in there. Now we have to adjust for how tight it is. And that's what you do that with these shims. And I'm going to fill up in there again. I want to confirm that rod bolt and the shims on the top are right, and they are. It's a 9/16. Use a deep well socket and just kind of snug it up a little bit. Fill your shims again and come back on the bottom, do the same thing, making the shims be straight across. You don't want one side or the other ones touching the crankshaft. Okay, they seem to be, you know what, I'm going to loosen that top bolt back up, and I didn't tighten it up, I just snugged it up, but I'm going to loosen that back up a little bit and then see if I can, yeah, I can move them bottom ones because they was a little bit askew. Okay, now that I'm holding them, I'm gonna snug that up. I want to hold them with equal distance, top and bottom, and equal distance sideways. Okay, the top ones is right, they're straight, so I'm going to tighten that up and tighten that up. Okay, rotate it a few times to make sure that nothing is binding. Now, another thing, another misconception that you will find to be true is the piston wrist pin, the gap between the rod and the piston on these M's, you do not put a spacer in there to take up that distance. The way this works right here is the flange on that babbett bearing between that throw on that crankshaft lines up the rod. Okay, and then, now see, no attempt yet has been made to center the crankshaft. So when I get ready to do that, I'll loosen both flywheels, slide them out a little ways, and then pull the crankshaft side to side and put that in equal distance. Okay, and that will in turn align the rod with the correct position on the wrist pin. Then that's why you do that. So, and let me feel again. Don't take anything for granted up in there. Okay, I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit more. The top, I'm gonna feel that again. Everything's straight. Tighten that up again. Okay. The bottom the same way. It's pretty tight. It's a big old 1/2 inch ratchet. Uh-oh. Get it on there straight. Okay, that's pretty tight. And it's got, you know, it's not tight. It's not tight, but it's I'm gonna go with that. It's not too tight, and it's definitely not too loose. So I'll go with that. Now, what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and put these 2 bolts here on here. These castellated nuts. I'll put them on there. I'm just gonna explain this to you and go on. I'll put them on there, tighten them up, and then I'll put a cotter key pin in there, but not, you know, I'll just spread it open enough to secure it where it don't fly out, and but not cinch it around. Then I'll put everything on here. We'll run the engine, maybe a tank or a tank and a half of fuel, and then I will take a shim out because it's going to be loose after a initial run in. Same way as these. Just know that on the get-go. But we got the piston in there. Now that we have those castellated nuts jammed together with that other nut in there, the 2 top and the bottom, got them lined up in the sideways where the little hole is at in that, and then we'll put us one right in the top right there, and just lightly open it up. Very light. And also the bottom, we'll put one in the bottom there, and lightly open it up where they won't get out. So now we'll run us a couple of tanks of fuel through there, and then most likely, well, we'll check it. We'll check it right here for any looseness. It feels real good now, and we'll check it. And if it needs to be, we'll take a shim out. And if not at that time, then we'll set those tight and let her run.